Um, People ask me like, "Why do you do this?" Um, like when I'm, I pretty aggressively troll people. Um, and people always ask me like, "What the hell's your problem?" And it always confuses me because it's like, well, I care about animals, duh. Um, but I also care about people, and I care about people being misinformed and hurt and having their lives cut short because of groupthink and because of cult behavior. Um, I've been basically attacked. I mean, not physically attacked, but this week I've been attacked openly in the public. People uh, attacking my appearance, attacking, like my family. Um, telling me I'm a bad dad, like, is trying to get at me as much as possible simply because I stick up for animals. And the reason I do what I do on Facebook, the metards and keytards and the carnivore tards is to get your attention, and it does. It gets a lot of attention. Um, and like people will be like, you're not going to change any minds like that. And it's like, I know I'm not going to change anyone's mind immediately, especially people who are completely closed minded. But the people, eventually these diets will lead to you having to make some sort of decisions medically, um, you know, sooner than you think. And if you'd been, if you spent 6 months arguing with me, I got a chance to give you a lot of really good information. Um, you didn't tell me anything or teach me anything in that time because I've been a carnivore before. I did basically do keto for a long time, and I have been vegetarian, vegan, pescatarian. I've done everything. And so, um, you know, I've been, and I've spent a lot of time on health and fitness. And I watch people, and the people who attack me personally and attack my appearance and whatever, like these people, it's always the most unhealthy people that I come across. And they go straight to ad hominem, straight to just trying to take low blows. Oh, look at what's it called? It's vegan deterioration. Like, are you kidding? Like, I've been vegan a long time. These people think there was like a YouTube video or resurgence in veganism a few years back, and so everyone just assumes that I've been vegan since like the '90s. Like, but anyway, the other so for one, animals, for two, people. So the people that have been watching, my arguments, I'm just delivering good information to you guys. And most of the stuff I come with, you know, people will come to me and ask these questions over and over again, and I will answer them. And I'm quite aware that this might be the first time this person's ever heard a legitimate answer to these questions. So people who are on the fence, who are actually like researching, um that's the other people that I do this for. Well, that's the other reason I do what I do. People like this guy, family guy. I don't know, he seems to be about my age. I'm not sure, he's probably younger than me. But you know the amount of groupthink, like the cult of Rogan, around the keto carnivore meat eating diet. um it's so funny because it's like people always, oh, you're in a cult, and it's like, Talk about projecting. So anyway, this poor guy has been doing carnivore for less than a year. And he first lost a little bit of weight and gained a little muscle, which is very common to happen when you get on this diet, because whenever you're taking out a necessary food group, you're gonna starve yourself basically, and you will lean out. And if you're eating nothing but protein, and of course you're going to harden up a little if what you were doing before was eating the standard American diet and being sedentary. Like, clearly, any diet that makes you intake less, you're going to lose weight, but you're not healthily losing weight. You're starving yourself of a necessary nutrient for our body, that our thyroid, our brain, every cell in our body runs off of carbs and glucose. And taking that away, yeah, you'll lose some weight. Yeah, you might get a little bit of buff, but you won't be able to run more than a mile. You're going to have anxiety problems. There's lots of reasons. But anyway, so this poor fucking guy is not even an year into the super carnivore diet that turns everyone into Superman. Everyone gets buff. Everyone gets super buff, like all the guys on steroids, but they don't take steroids. All they do is eat carnivore. Like, I got people that tell me carnivore diet saved their life. Like, talk about delusional. So this guy finally goes into the doctor and gets his blood panel taken. And shockingly enough, he's gained weight. And his numbers are terrible. Absolutely terrible. He's supposed to, they want to put him on him like a statin. And he's just like, are you kidding? Like, everyone has told me this is the best thing in the world. And then the thing that gets me the most is the comments. Everyone is telling him he is doing it right and to keep doing what he's doing. And he's like almost in tears in this video.
This morning, and I looked at my labs and I'm just like,
and everyone is telling him to keep doing what he's doing. And his labs are terrible. His LDL's through the roof. They want to put him on pills to get his cholesterol down. Where do you get all that cholesterol from? Like, dude doesn't look great. He said he lost a little bit of weight, but
I quit.
I quit carnivore. Oh, does that mean that, like, I could start making fun of everyone, all these carnivores and ketos that make fun of me because some people quit veganism? Like, people who quit vegan, they're failures. Like, why would you want their advice? And do you think they're going to give you good advice on something when they failed at it? Of course they're going to talk shit about it. Oh, veganism. Like, if they fail, of course they're going to talk shit. Like, you got to see some of the stuff people say to me on a daily basis. But this fucking poor guy.
To the doctor yesterday and got my labs drawn. And I went into the doctor and I stepped on that scale and I was 4 pounds heavier than I was 3 months ago. I'm like, oh, I'm 6'4". My weight fluctuates. I could be gaining muscle. I think last time I weighed in, I was wearing shorts. I'm not that worried.
And this is what you get with these guys. They're like, they lean out a little bit, but not that much. And then they're like, oh, gaining muscle, and it's like they think they're gaining muscle, but they're not really losing anything. And you got this whole group think of all these people that are doing the same diet that are just blowing smoke up each other's asses, telling, oh, like, and then at the top of it, you have these influencers on YouTube and Instagram who do steroids and say that they get those bodies naturally by being carnivore or keto. So they're straight up lying, like the Primal guy and the the Liver King, Mark Sisson, and like all these dudes are making millions off of lying to you, and you could see it on their face. Like, these don't look like happy people. They don't look like healthy people. So yeah.
Because I have slimmed down quite a bit. You can see it on here. From when I first started this diet, I am way healthier. I'm not.
See? Like, the guy can't even use the right words for what he's talking about because everyone around him has puffed him up so much. He said, I'm much healthier. And this is a problem I have with a lot of people who come to my page and argue with me about my diet. They think that because they have some abs, that they are healthy. And like, having muscles does not equate to being healthy. And this dude just said, I'm healthier now. But he's here to tell you he's quitting carnivore because his LDL cholesterol is through the roof. And he's going to literally have to get bypass surgery. So obviously he's not healthy. But he says he's healthier because all these ketos and carnivores think they are healthy because they got a little bit of muscles from their diet that they went on where they really just starved themselves.
I'm not supposed to slap my belly, but I do it anyway. It's hard to see, but yeah, I'm still feeling all right.
Not very lean like all these carnivores and ketos say they're supposed to be.
I haven't really lost weight, obviously, because I gained 4 pounds. I'm not counting calories. I'm not doing anything. I'm just eating carnivore without.
Dude looks tired too. Like, this whole video, he looks like he's about to cry. And if this is how he always looks, like, I don't really know if he's really healthy.
Cheating. So I have not been cheating at all. That wasn't great. And then I go in to get my blood pressure checked, and
So he said he's not cheating on carnivore. He only eats carnivore.
Didn't sleep that well going into it. I'm trying to take my health seriously. So, and it's kind of stressing me out a little bit. So I didn't sleep that well. I was tossing and turning because I knew I was
stressing out about stress or diets actually kills you, people. It's crazy how much people stress out about their diets.
Gonna have to go into the doctor and get blood pressure. And then I was stressed out trying to think about relaxing. So I go in there and they take my blood pressure, which I've been monitoring. I've been monitoring my blood pressure, and it's all.
Oh, you're muted. I think.
What up?
What's up?
How you doing, brother?
Pretty good. It's been a crazy couple of weeks.
Mic sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I'm sitting pretty close to the mic right now. I'm just kind of not very presentable this week.
What did you do?
Beat up? What's up?
Did you get beat up?
No, just got a pretty heavy neck beard going right now, and I'm a little scraggly looking. Not super presentable.
You look like a commie.
Possibly.
Neck beard commie.
Yeah, Marxist little armchair philosopher thing going on.
So how come these videos keep getting demonetized, do you think?
I don't know. I think how many of them have been demonetized? I think
so the first 3, the first 4 got by, but every single one of them since then has got demonetized.
Really?
And they monetize all my shit usually.
Yeah. That's weird. I don't know if
I thought it was like one of the metards.
Mm-hmm.
Because they like come in here and saying crazy shit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's really weird.
Yeah, I would think maybe Lubass's appearances or Padini, just some of the stuff they were talking about, but I don't know.
It's but yeah, the last 2 got dinged too, and they weren't on the last 2.
I have a theory.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
Andrew Dice Clay filed copyright claims for his 30-year-old material.
Ew.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's weird. Not that I
It is
really care.
strange.
I don't make anything. It's just I'm confused. And even like I clipped a couple up, and the clips they're just like not suitable for advertising, and I'm like, well, what is going on?
That doesn't make sense.
Or people are thumbs downing them, like a bunch of people. Like
Even
some of
that
them
though, I don't
coordinated.
think. Yeah, but I don't think that would even, unless people are like reporting or something like that. That's the only thing I would
They'll be
think.
getting more views.
Yeah,
It's weird.
it's like the more influential you get, it's because of the whole, like, because carnivore and keto is like dominating the narrative right now.
Yeah, I don't know. It would be interesting. It is a interesting hypothetical that like YouTube's, controlling the narrative specifically.
Oh yeah, because they've
It
done
would
that.
make sense.
Oh, go ahead.
It would make sense because, in the past 15 years, meat consumption has gone down, and the big meat has to respond in some sort of way to get meat sales back up again. Obviously, funding carnivore influencers is one good way of doing that, because now you got all these fools running around eating 3 times as much meat. So mission accomplished there.
Huh.
But it would make sense YouTube would be connected to all that. And then like you look at Joey Schwartz, and look at his short career. He went from 0 to 20,000 overnight, basically making some whack ass videos of whack ass disinformation videos. Basically, we should look at his channel tonight too and see he's doing some. He thinks he's doing one of those like he's not doing carnivore content anymore, and he's just doing. I live in Mexico. I'm rich.
Yeah.
Pay me to tell you how I got rich. He's doing that shit now. It's hilarious. And he's fat, dude. He's all chunky. Like, dude,
Oh, man.
stop eating that way, bro. Like he's like getting big.
Yeah, I peeked at his channel and like some of it was like, oh, I figured out how you're actually supposed to eat now. And it's still just nonsense. He's still eating like raw meat with sauce and stuff. So he's still betraying the carnivore side, I guess.
Well,
You can't make that kind of stuff palatable.
Raw milk, eggs, and meat. That's all he eats. And then after I did the debate with him, his teeth were bleeding uncontrollably. He got like scurvy, I think.
Oh man. How do you get that past like the 1600s?
You got to be one of the dumbest people on the planet to get scurvy in 2024.
Seriously.
Literally every plant has enough vitamin C to not get scurvy.
Yeah.
All you have to do is have like some lettuce and onion on the burgers you eat every day.
Seriously.
Well, even that one dude that trolls Jeffrey's Facebook, that he's always like showing off like his burger patties that he's getting and everything. It's like all he has to do is just get a little serving of French fries. He'll get a little bit of vitamin C.
Yeah. That's pretty funny. Let me look up Joey's page.
I mean, that's not nearly a healthy amount of vitamin C. That's not meeting the minimum, but
Yeah, true.
the minimum for optimum
Keep
health
your gums from bleeding.
is higher than the amount to not get scurvy.
Yes, that's a sad threshold. Just to make sure my gums don't bleed, I just got to eat like a couple of French fries every week.
So when I was arranging the debates with Joey, he was like picking my brain about like conspiracy theories. He's all, what do you think about 9/11? And he was like asking me all this like really like entry level shit. And I'm all, motherfucker, like dinosaurs aren't real, like space travel isn't real. Like he went down this list of shit and he was just like, whoa. But he's like, I'm trying to pull up. He's It's just this is just funny to me at this point.
He's probably trying to match the kind of people who like he's attracting with his viewership. He's trying to get up to speed with all that.
Yeah, so he didn't do anything for a long time after, like, I did the debate with him. Then he changed his name on here from Carnivore Camaraderie to yeah, here we go. I'm about to drop a bombshell, guys.
Gonna make a video just checking in, talking about how I got to where I'm at now. Had some pretty good financial upswings and things with health that have just been really going well. Just everything that I've kind of prided myself on, everything that I've been working on has been turning out well. And I want to talk about how that happened, what I've realized, and maybe just give some ideas that I've had.
No, hold on. I can't even deal with this kid's voice.
Where is that, by the way?
But I guess he moved to Mexico. He used to live over here.
Yeah, it does count.
He used to live over here in like Westwood in LA. And yeah, so I was like in our debate, I was all, let's do a fucking physical challenge, dude. So because like there's no way in hell I'd ever beat you at anything being old as shit and vegan, And he's like, let's fucking have a fight. And I was like, all right, let's fucking do it. We'll box or something. It'll be fun, But then, yeah, I guess he moved to Mexico.
Not a real fight. Not the drunken bar kind of fight. Or I'm pretty sure
UFC.
There's promoters, fight promoters that like, if you have any following at all, like if you're an influencer or any kind of following, they'll let you fight. Yeah, they'll like do all the shit and it'll be all legal. So I was like, perfect. Like, I haven't done much martial arts. Joey hasn't done much martial arts. Let's just box. He said MMA. I would kill that kid. But I mean, boxing is just like, it takes a little bit of skill, like obviously, he's always play soccer because he's like a soccer player. I'm like, well, obviously if we do cycling, I'm going to kill you, and if you do soccer, who knows, maybe, but probably you'll beat me because you're younger and you play soccer at school every day because you're freaking 12 years old.
Yeah, soccer is a very, very, very specific skill,
Yeah, I was pretty good at soccer in school. I'd be surprised. I
never played soccer, so I completely suck at soccer,
If we played full field, I would kill him. There's no way my cardio I'd stomp all over that kid in anything cardio related. Obviously, the dude eats meat, eggs, and milk, and that's it. Like, he would die. It's funny. I caught him. He was doing he's doing these videos and he uses a ab filter. Only the slightest. He just gives himself the slightest bit of abs with a filter. One of those like filters that chicks use to make their faces look better.
Subtle ones.
Yeah, he just puts the slightest ones in there, and then sometimes you see his videos and you're like, wait, dude, he's got a fat like he's got a beer belly. Like, where'd those abs go? It was like 2 days ago, and it's like, oh, you go look back at it, and you're like, this motherfucker, like, straight up putting abs on him.
I just want to say for all the ladies in our audience, no filters here, baby. This is all me.
There we go.
Right here.
All two people watching right now that probably aren't females.
Across the bed, this is what you see. Baby,
all right, so Braxton.
Yeah.
You got me all hot and bothered after going after Will Keller, and then you didn't show up last week.
Yeah, I didn't even know. Oh, go ahead.
What?
Braxton's
I was gonna say, I didn't even know if that was going to happen, and then on top of it, everything like started getting really busy right around when the show came up.
Yeah. No, it's okay. It's okay. I just you were kind of the one who, like me and somebody talked about it for a while, but yeah, you were like pissed. So rant away. You have to do a 5-minute rant because of that, because you didn't show up last week on Will Keller.
Oh man, no pressure at all. I don't know. I was just beefing with the fact that he's pushing all this stuff about freedom under natural law and anarchy and everything. And it's like, how,
Doing less harm.
yeah, like less harm, but like, maybe towards your fellow man, but it's still the energy, it's still the spirit of killing and making other people suffer for your own personal wants and quote unquote needs. So, that seems pretty hypocritical.
Yeah, I was trying to get on Pasio's live stream like as a caller for a while, and so I accidentally watched a couple episodes. And one of them, he was like, he had Will on, and he was just like stroking him off the whole time, and it was just like Will kept saying these words, like doing less harm and crap like that, and I was just like, oh my god, like, okay, so are you vegan, or is like Mark gonna ask you? Like, never came.
Yeah, it's just kind of that convenient thing that always gets brushed under the rug, because like I didn't even get a chance to watch that one like 4-hour video that got posted in the group of Mark basically going over all the reasons to be vegan and like just I guess really digging in, but just the fact that he was so vocal about it, and then all of a sudden it's just he got quiet about it, and everybody who was coming onto his platform, he just didn't seem to care. He just started getting more and more silent about it. And then the way that Will Keller talks when he's making his videos, reducing harm and all these kinds of things, it like I was convinced that he actually was vegan just by default, just by how he was talking.
Yeah,
I assumed that he
like
connected.
That's the reason I went over to that one show. It was because I was told that guy was vegan, and he sounded really fucking vegan, Yeah. But then turns out he eats pizzas every day, so
Yeah.
He obviously doesn't care about pimping and macking on female cows, female sentient beings.
Oh, he's pimping. Definitely pimping.
So I just and that video, that was like a year ago that I saw that video, and it's like, okay, so it's been a year. How are you not vegan yet? How are you so big in this circle, quote unquote, to have like Mark Pasio stroking you off, but then you're still, and doesn't he have kids? Like, he realizes he's forcing that on his kids, right? Like,
yeah, or at least not setting an example for the values and principles he's trying to, push on to the next generation.
Like, that's where we're at. At least that's where I'm at. Like, we're like, if you're not vegan, like, how could you even call yourself any of these things?
Mm-hmm.
You're doubling down on the most subsidized food that's available that only exists because of subsidies.
That's right. It can't get on the market today. It might have been different 30 years ago, but
these welfare whores,
these plant-based,
they love saying the word welfare whores, but they're the biggest welfare whores, depending themselves on the government's diet of meat and dairy.
Well, that's not limited to carnists either, right? As car-free people. I don't know about Braxton. You're not car-free, right?
No, I have to drive a car for now.
I mean, I'm not exactly car-free because I'm living in my small town and I'm like driving my sister's car, my parents' car sometimes. But, because I can physically walk into town, but and I do a lot, but time constraints. It's not a town that's designed around being car free, to put it mildly. It's a very rural town, but cars are just massively subsidized. If you're a driver, you shouldn't be talking.
If you buy a new car,
you
heard my rant on new cars, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand it. So
anybody who has a decent income and is car free is fucking subsidizing drivers in 1,000 ways.
No, when you buy a new car, people go nuts when I tell them this shit. They can't stand it because everyone just thinks they deserve a new car. So when you buy a new car, you're creating basically another human entity, a fictitious entity that is a taxable entity. And this machine that you think you deserve, is going to create tax revenue for the war machine for the next 30 years, and tens of thousands, maybe more tax revenue than even you make. And so all these people like, oh no, Ford, the Ford workers are fucking
electric solves that problem, right? Doesn't it?
Please. Yeah, so we got Ford workers striking, and it's just like, oh my God, fire them, shut these factories down. This like psychopathic, oh, we got to make a new car every year, like every year has to be a new car. Like this is psychopathic waste that, like, even if we were on a little spit of land floating in space, well, especially if we were, but even if we have more natural resources than what they've told us, it's still not good to shit where you eat, to
ignoring the fact that there's metal and rubber in your bicycle. There's metal and rubber in your bicycle, so you're not entirely free from supporting the war machine. Just like crop, you're not 100% pure, so you're a hypocrite.
I buy tire, my tiny tires that are on my bike have oil in them. Therefore, that's like the JD Farms argument.
Yeah, the grease
when I pointed out the JD Farms So, so Zen's here.
How's it going, Zen?
Pretty good. It's still a bit of time until church. But yeah, Jeffrey, if you're still down, me taking over your channel and doing the whole crazy vegan church thing, that would be fun.
Do it. Yeah. So we have a special event tonight. Zen's going to be. Is this something you do yearly, or what is it? Whoa, my voice.
No, I do it every week. The only reason that I was coming to your things is because my work overlapped a portion of what would be church, so that's why I couldn't run my own thing. But yeah, so now I'm out of retail hell, so I'm able to do church again. So I've been doing it again. But I used to record on Spoon, which is a podcasting app, I guess you could say. But I thought it might be cool to do it a little bit differently this time. So maybe we could combine forces a bit.
Yeah.
But I want to warn people, it's a little zany, it's a little crazy. So you'll see a side of me that you've never seen before. I bring a bunch of people in, and we do outreach with Carnus about veganism, and I do this crazy dance party thing. It's kind of wild, so just be warned.
All right.
So you want to restart the stream?
Yeah, not now. There's still half an hour before, so my people are just still waiting in the wings and everything. So.
Okay. Did you just want a clip of it, or?
Oh no, I'm
jump on.
Yeah. Different people will be kind of like in your audience and things like that. That's what I'm saying is kind of like populate your channel a bit with my people and stuff like that. So yeah. But I'm thinking because I see that you've been talking about crop deaths and that type of stuff for a while. So I'd prefer if we could do a separate recording, if you could go live again, so that the recording that we have is just the church block.
Okay. So you guys start. I gotta do a little bit of. I gotta jump into StreamYard to make that work. So you guys talk for a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, that'll work. How's it going? Good to see you again.
Your mic sounds good.
Yeah, I got my real mic and my real cam going this time. So.
Yeah, Jeremy has been camless for a while, and he's got a new one too.
Different laptop.
Yeah.
Nice.
I traded roles with Jeremy this week.
Yeah. So Braxton, continue. You're only 2 minutes into your rant.
Oh. No pressure. I don't know. I don't really have too much to go off of right now. Just
So what do you think we can do? I mean, we've talked about him in 2 videos. He came and commented when I first posted, so he's at least around. What do we do? Do we hit him up this week and invite him on? because he's not showing up on his own.
Yeah, that might be like just trying to, keep sending the invitation and just see if he's willing to actually have that conversation or not. I've kind of noticed that with that whole the whole platform that he's a part of, it seems like people kind of dodge those inconvenient questions, and they kind of get groomed to just basically become content creators, and that's all that really matters, is getting out like different types of natural law, spirituality, anarchy sort of messages, but not really. I don't know. I guess I can't try to take away too much credit, because they do provide some pretty good materials in some of their presentations, but it's more about the content making and trying to push to become the new media, like Mark Passio says, versus actually getting people to be consistent. So I guess that's kind of my main gripe.
I know, to put in my 2 cents, I know that you're kind of supposed to say as a vegan activist that all major ethical and religious theories naturally lead to veganism by different paths, but I actually, disagree with that. I'm more familiar with, or I think I understand kind of social contract deontology better, and I don't think it naturally leads to veganism at all. I think it's a pretty natural rationalization for human supremacy, and it's just one among many reasons why social contract deontology is bullshit. This is the kind of thing that says like morality comes from selfish people kind of implicitly agreeing not to violate one another's rights because it sucks for them selfishly. It's kind of like selfishness exposed to community is what yields ethics, which I think is just a sociopathic lack of understanding of what ethics is. Ethics is directly caring about moral patience because something is good or bad for them in and of itself, not because of something that they can implicitly do for you or not do to you or whatever. So these people sound like a social contract deontologists. Kind of sounds sociopathic to me. The natural law deontologists, I don't really understand it nearly as much. If it's not like divine, if it's not coming from some God that I don't think exists, then I don't really understand how it's supposed to come from nature. So I can't comment on it so much because I can't really understand it. Maybe I need to do more reading, but I definitely don't think that all ethical paths lead to veganism. I think that many don't, and there's usually lots of other reasons why those ethical paths are bullshit.
Do you mind if I comment on that a little bit?
I'll go for it.
Are you familiar with intersectionality?
I've heard people use it in very different ways. You mean in the kind of social justice sense of different personal identities and marginalized groups, or do you mean something maybe broader than that?
No, basically that hate in its many forms has a common thread, and that being a view of other and a lack of comprehension or acceptance of others' bodily autonomy. Like that's what it boils down to, is consent. Like I'm feminist for the same reason I'm vegan, for the same reason I'm anarchist, for the same reason that I'm a BDSM practitioner, because the basis of the world can and should be consent. That's it. Like why would you violate the consent of some people but acknowledge the bodily autonomy of some others? Why would you acknowledge the bodily autonomy of cats and dogs and not acknowledge the bodily autonomy of pigs and chickens? Why would you recognize the bodily autonomy of cis white men and not the bodily autonomy of trans indigenous women? See what I'm saying?
Yeah, it sounds like, I could actually say this is going to sound paradoxical, but I 100% agree with you and 100% disagree with you at the same time. I agree that all of those social issues are deeply interconnected and can be seen as the same thing, but I don't think it's about bodily autonomy and consent fundamentally. I think it's about the capacity of all of those beings to experience suffering and then also happiness. They have desires that can be satisfied or frustrated. They're sentient and their experiences matter directly. So for me, it's a consequentialist caring about the experiences of anybody who's capable of having experiences. And but I do completely agree that it doesn't make sense to care about some without caring about all, and it flows from the same place, which is just being somebody who can experience happiness and suffering myself. I understand the intrinsic goodness and badness of those states, and so morality is recognizing those the good value of good subjective states and the negative value of bad subjective states, whoever they occur in, wherever they occur, whatever's causing them, and to basically fundamentally be opposed to the production of suffering, no matter who it is. What Peter Singer calls the expanding circle, right? And like the self-observation is the self-reflection is about like noticing where your circle is not expanded enough, and then making effort to expand it to whatever beings you weren't like sufficiently considering before. That's basically how I think about things. And that's how I see history, right? Like social justice history. I think Peter Singer nailed it in that book. It's about people originally having a very, very narrow circle to like the extended family and the clan or whatever, and then gradually extending it to be able to form like larger tribes, and then kind of city states, and then nations or races or things like that, and then gradually extending it to all of humanity. For some people, there's still many people whose circle is not expanded to even all of humanity. But then expanding it further to all of the sentient beings, which as far as we know is only animals, right? We don't know of any sentient plants, but like theoretically, if we discovered the Groots or whatever, the Ents in the world, then they would have moral status, and maybe we're gonna have sentient AI pretty soon, and we should care about them and not put thinking and feeling AIs into simulations just so we can kill them in order to play a fun video game. So it's I definitely am intersectionalist in that sense 100% that the basic principle underlies all of these justice issues. They're not anything that you can like credibly argue for separately from the others.
Yeah, exactly. And there was a good question in chat about vaccine mandates, like your body, your choice. If you want to do something like that, then awesome. But if you don't, then you shouldn't be forced to. So it's very clear, cut and dry and simple. So everything that happens back then, that's why I'm shadow banned on Instagram, at least, is because I noticed the madness of all of that stuff. And I'm like, something doesn't seem right. Like, even if I wanted to have, which I'm not, like the research didn't align with what they were saying, then I should have been able to. But the fact that they were just forcing it on people and like threatening people's jobs and livelihood and stuff like that, that's coercion, which is against the non-aggression principle and the platinum rule. So like, why the fuck would I advocate for something?
You should probably clarify, libertarians tend to mean something very different by force and aggression than most other people do. So an employer who doesn't want to hire anybody, or who wants to fire employees who refuse to get vaccinated, that employer committing aggression or force or not?
I mean, that is where things get complex because, you know, they are, from their perspective. Well, I mean, here's the thing that's fucked up is they weren't just doing it because they were trying to protect their employees and their customers. They were doing it because the government was forcing them to put these mandates.
In practice.
So, yeah, right. That's really what was happening, is that businesses were being shut down if they weren't doing what the government told them to do. So that was the overarching issue, is that these were mandates that were pushed from the top of the pyramid scheme down to the rest of us lowly people. That was the issue. If it was actually about science and the scientists were able to do what scientists are supposed to do, and that's weigh the good data with the bad data, you know, improve the good data, like, you know, through the scientific method, and they were like, hey, you guys, we really should get this. And if it was about education, I would have gotten it myself, but it wasn't about education. There was so much voices that were suppressed during that time.
How about say somebody who remove the government by one step, somebody who wants a divorce because their spouse won't get vaccinated, or because their spouse did get vaccinated, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's
that a no-fault divorce, or is that at fault? Who's at fault?
It's just nonsensical. The whole thing's nonsensical. If the jab protects you, you're protected, period. If you want the jab, get the jab, you're protected. Don't tell people what to do with their own fucking body. So like it's just counter to logic. If you're like, oh, I got the jab, but I'm going to divorce you if you don't get the jab too. No, get your jab, you're protected, you're fine. Like, stop forcing people to do what they, you know, like, to do things with their body that they don't want to do. Like, if they don't want to be protected, like, that's how I feel about like drug abuse and like stuff like that. As long as you're not a danger to other people, you want to poison your fucking body, go for it. If you don't want to have, you know, protection for your body, don't fucking protect yourself. You want to go into warfare or whatever without armor, without a shield, without, you know, body armor, whatever. I don't fucking care. That's your choice. You want to make self-destructive choices? Fantastic. If you're a risk to other people, that's a problem. But again, they're not a risk to other people if you got the fucking jab. So quit the shit. Like, that's my perspective. Rarely do I get into these discussions, so I hope this is a nice little treat for people.
Yeah, the people who got it weren't a threat from what they were telling us, but I don't want to get too far into that. And
that's the thing. If it was about public health, they would have released it to the public for free. They would have shown the patent so that other manufacturers can create the same thing without making it a market thing. But that's not what they did. That's the opposite of what they did. It's the literal opposite of what they did.
Yeah, if anything, the people who were, I got to be a little careful about my choice of words, but the people who were like on the front lines actually trying to figure out what was going on and what was effective, those were the people who were doing more charitable type work that was actually useful for.
Had nothing to gain from that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But the big corporations, the government, they had tons to gain. The wealth gap. Wow, I don't know who that is from. Can you mute yourself?
Jeremy lives with a pack of wolves.
Jesus. Yeah, like it could have been handled in a radically different way, but it wasn't. So.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those narratives, like we were talking about earlier, that if you were speaking about it, you'd be shadow banned, and that's the uglier side of social media.
It's just simple. Bad ideas get suppressed by good ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
Generally speaking, as long as they're allowed to be communicated. Generally speaking, because obviously we see the rise of these like carnivore people and stuff like that, and it's sad, but like these people are dying. They're like literally dying. So like we don't have to worry about them spreading as much propaganda because they're dying. So so it's fine. Like, it sucks, but that's how the war of ideas happens. Like, bad ideas get suppressed by good ideas. So that's why I'm an advocate for parallel society. You know, that's how we liberate the people that are willing to be liberated. You can't save everyone. It's that simple.
Yes, that's the only form of Darwinism that I agree with. Is if you're gonna do that kind of damage, do it to yourself. Well, people learn the hard way.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Darwin because nature actually thrives on cooperation, not competition. But generally speaking, yes, I agree with what you said.
Yeah. The only form of Darwinism I would agree with. their version of natural selection.
So that's what we feel about Will Keller.
What is it?
He's
It all
pushing
started
some,
with that.
pushing some deadly
that?
misinformation.
Ooh, someone's feeding back.
Yeah,
You,
no
Devin?
doubt.
Is it?
Hello. Yeah, I think it was Devin. What were you gonna say, Jack Braxton?
Oh, just as far as like people pushing deadly misinformation, or I guess what would you call that? Doing something through what do you call that? When somebody
Coercion.
through like omission by not clarifying on certain points as much as they could, with the responsibility they have of having a following. Because if you know better and you have a platform, then you should be trying to do better and trying to get others to do better.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we should, nicely reach out to him and see if he'll come on and talk to us about it. Because I'd love to
Who is that you
hear.
want to speak with?
There's, I guess, I don't really follow Mark Passio at all, but he's got like a minion who, isn't vegan yet somehow. He hasn't seen the light like Mark has. And it's been a couple years, and we're just kind of like, what's going on, dude? Like, you start openly, publicly calling him out, basically. What say you? At this point, like, what's going on? You got kids, you're feeding them meat. You're feeding them the most subsidized, sketchy, morality-wise, like, there's like all kinds of issues with and the guy talks about doing less harm and all kinds of that, like all the time, and it's just like he's using our rhetoric, but he's not, and he's just simply being an anarchist, but he's not like, he's not doing anarchy, he's just being anarchy, I guess, emulating anarchy. Fans of anarchists, not people actually doing anarchy. In my opinion, making videos isn't necessarily doing anarchy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I'm just gonna, we're just trying to get some more stuff going on. We had Chris Hines on once, and we had Hard Hat come on, who's on the fence of going vegan. We had some really good conversations. So I'm just trying to drum up some drama, get some people up here and try and anarchy edge lording. But yeah, so this guy's just, a bunch of people are looking at him. He's getting a lot of attention, and for some reason, he knows the implications, but hasn't pulled the trigger yet with him and his family. And hopefully we'll be able to talk some sense into him. But Braxton was initially, he brought it up the other day in the chat. He was like, and I was like, yeah, that guy should be vegan. What's going on?
Yeah.
But so
Because I brought it up in a comment section on one of his posts. Or no, somebody posted in the post. They posted in the Mark Passio Natural Law group asking about eating meat and natural law, and then he said something to the effect that if people put that much effort into freeing themselves, and that's when I called him out.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's been said before. Yeah, it's been said before, but I mean,
say it again.
Say what?
You said it's been said before, but it's a new show. What's going on?
Oh, can we not chew bubblegum and practice natural law at the same time?
So these guys' excuses are, oh, we got to focus all our energy on this one thing, and we don't, like that's something we need to do after
And
we figure out anarchy for everyone.
my thing is, where are your fruits? Veganism has actually resulted in real world change. Where is the results of all this natural law talk? I still get pulled over by the police. I still have to ask permission to do this and that and the other thing. I still get money taken out of my paycheck. Like, I can actually go to Walmart and see the results of vegans' hard work. I can see vegan cheese in the fucking dairy aisle. I can go to, you go to like one of these big fashion outlets and they have faux fur jackets.
Yeah.
Fuck. For instance, Lexus is selling their new GX with a full vegan interior.
No way.
Yeah.
I'm sure most interiors of cars are vegan. They're just
No,
throwing the
yeah. No, you'd be surprised. I went to Audi one time and I spoke with them about this, and they said they pride themselves on being a real luxury car because they have animal skin interiors.
Yeah.
over all the plastic.
Those were their words. Yeah. Over all the plastic. Yes.
I feel like it was probably like 5 to 10 years ago. There were a lot of articles coming out about people trying to use alternative forms of leather for like car interiors. Like some parts of car interior, they were talking about using like mushroom cultures for like filler for a lot of the interior. And then
they're making a lot of breakthroughs in different materials now.
Yeah,
carbon neutral materials.
But companies like Mercedes have pioneered like the vinyl and stuff since the 70s.
Yeah,
and it's just
there's
a lot more.
There's a lot of fake leather being used in cars for sure because it's a lot cheaper than regular leather.
Go figure.
Yeah. But it's a lot of it is petroleum based, which, there's a lot of fucking, if we are stuck on a little bubble floating in space, probably isn't a good thing to, be releasing more carbon out of the ground into the carbon loop.
Yeah, there's probably it's not as biodegradable and all that part.
I mean, all that was true like 10 years ago, but now you can make leather from mangoes and mycelium and cactus and pineapple. Yeah. I think banana skins. Like, there's lots of options these days. It's just the current paradigm. Even the PVC industry doesn't want these things to come out, though. That's the issue. Like, there's only so much progress that can be made in a capitalistic system. It's just that simple.
That's so fucking cool.
There's a guy on YouTube that kind of is the official vegan car guy. His channel is called Autogefühl. It's a German, but he speaks English. And he's put on presentations. He has like hour-long seminars talking about changing the auto industry over to cruelty-free interiors and exploring more of the material science. And he's talked about oh yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I don't mean to bust in, but it's 5:58. Are you ready for then? All right.
Yeah. So I want to let you all know what we're doing. So we're going to be doing a church service, a Pasta Church, which is like a vegan outreach comedy show type thing. It's going to be a blast. So there's going to be a new link. Make sure you join in there, and it's going to be a good time. We're going to be a dance party. We'll have some general conversation, but for the most part, we're going to be reading Pastafarian propaganda to help people think critically and be morally consistent. So that's the goal of this. So you'll see a side of me that you've never seen before.
All right.
We need to be able to stand up.
It's optional. That dance party's at the end. Don't worry about that.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
All right, so I'm gonna end this stream, and then I got another stream ready, and then I'll put the StreamYard in, and we'll get it all going.
All right.
All right.
And everyone just come back. Catch you guys
So
later.
we're transferring to a new one.
Yeah.